me some drama.
Sometimes I wanna go. Some days I gotta go. Sometimes I need to go. We are just trying to get. Sometimes I wanna go.
Hey, I'm Danielle Beckman, and I am a multidisciplinary artist. I have a podcast, I'm an actress, a producer, newly a filmmaker, I'm also a live streamer, and a coach. I got started when I was 3 years old. This is true. However, my career has gone through a few things since it's 30 years later. But I got started doing musical theater and singing and ballet when I was really young as a performer. But in the last 3 years, I've gotten more started in voiceover, commercial, on camera, and live streaming, and producing and writing and making my own content. So that section has been like 3 years. So still pretty much a baby in that area. I learned what politics were in the acting world. I was like 5 years old getting rejected from parts. And I learned that you have to have a thick skin. And if you want to do this, you have to be persistent. And so, yes, little 5-year-old me was heartbroken, but at the same time, I learned a lot. And I learned that there's a lot of value knowing your own value instead of letting someone else put that on you. The other thing that I've learned, just like in the last 3 years, is how you can't underestimate yourself. I know how to live stream now. I know how to shoot a good talk show. I know what microphones are, and I gave advice on microphones to a friend the other day. Like, I know what things are. I know how to edit now. This is all new in the last 3 years. So I think something I learned really quickly was that my capacity was bigger than I thought. So I'm originally from San Diego, California.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's just funny. People think I'm like from like ballet. No, but people think that I'm from Germany because I say yeah a lot. People think I'm from the Midwest because I'm nice. People think I am from Jersey because I talk like this sometimes. People don't know where I'm from. So when they hear San Diego, they're like, what? Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Yes, I've always had an amazing support system. My parents, and I'm an only child, so my parents have always been like really supportive of what I'm doing. And currently, my biggest support is my boyfriend. He's amazing. And it's really, really, really important to have that in this industry. Whether you're a performer, whether you're a writer, a producer, a costume designer, it does not matter. You need that support system. Even if it's like 2 or 3 people who are accountability buddies, or your mom. That's super important. And also within that support system, what's so funny is I had people that I thought were supporting me, but still always had that pressure of going, well, why aren't you on Broadway? Well, why aren't you doing this? Well, where's the progress? And they mean well, so you have to let those comments just roll off your back, like water off a duck's back. I used to say that wrong. I used to say like camel off of the straw that broke the water back. I don't know. I mean, it's like my relationship with Jesus, God, and the Holy Spirit only gets stronger every time I decide to co-create with the Holy Spirit. Like, what's crazy too is a thing I've been thinking about is how with the Holy Spirit, you don't necessarily need to pray to the Holy Spirit. You need to ask the Holy Spirit what to pray for. And so in that same way, like asking Holy Spirit, okay, how do you want me to, how are we going to collaborate here or create today? Instead of like, God in the sky who's so far away. No, he's here, he's in us. And so it's kind of like, okay, you are the creator, you are the author of everything. So I want to create this little short film. Do you want to come on board with me? Can you help me and give me ideas? So I feel like my relationship, especially my relationship with Jesus, has it develops and blossoms every time I start a creative project that is in the flow of where I'm meant to be. And I will get severe like stop and go if it's not in alignment. I know immediately. And so I just feel that connection and that closeness with God, especially when I'm in that purpose place. So, and there's a couple projects I have right now where they're so in alignment, and it's just everything's flowing and it's awesome. So honestly, it's something that I just came out of a couple months ago. I've been in New York now for 11 years, and I was in a moment of being super jaded about everything for a full 6 months. I was just finding myself in this cycle of like hopelessness, being like, well, I've been here 11 years and I'm hitting a wall. There's a wall, so I'll use it as a prop. But yeah, and it was just the thing that helped me overcome was that accountability I talked about before, the people around me. And of course, that promise and that drive and the fire that I know God had instilled in me from the beginning with what I wanted to do. So it was those two things. It was my relationships with people, my relationship with God that got me out of my funk. Because it was like a 6-month intense thing. And people look at me, and maybe you look at me and you're like, wow, that girl's happy, she's excited. And okay, yes, but that doesn't mean that there's not a lot going on in here and a lot of other feelings. So yeah, I'm out of it. I'm out of the woods now, but it took a while. So that was a hurdle, but I made it. As it sounds a little bit superficial, but sacrifices, honestly, designer clothes, vacations, manicures, honestly, because in this journey, I've had so many moments of ebb and flow for income, and so sacrifices along the way would look like, maybe instead of going out with my friends over the weekend, I'm gonna cook at home, or I'll be able to stop by my friend's birthday but not get a drink. I mean, this was like back in the day, but still, those moments of perspective are really eye-opening, and also are revealing to how much I wanted this, how much I want to be in this industry. And yeah, I mean, even sacrificing, like being generous, like, I don't know, I mean, activism is huge now. It's very popular now. I wish it was popular forever. I mean, maybe it was popular back then, but I was too young to know it. But I think even now, like, my desire to be generous and to give to different organizations and support friends in shows and things like that, it's sometimes you have to really pay attention to your money flow and what you're doing with that. So it's not a forever thing. So hopefully those sacrifices will look different in the future. And I'll be able to buy my yacht I've always wanted. I don't want a yacht. Just kidding. I don't like boats that much. There are stories I want to tell, and that is actually the thing that inspires me to keep going. The potential that's there. And I'm a big improviser as well, so the fact that I can create something out of literally nothing is something that just fuels every time I perform. And not only that, but like I said before, the support group that I have, the support, the connections, and the collaborative spirit that lies within my industry. Without that, I would still be Miss Little Jaded on my little jaded float, waving to people or spitting at people. I don't know, but like it's those things. And with those collaborations, there's so much potential, and who knows what could unfold. So the next thing up for me is a short film by my friend Leah McKendrick. She wrote it. It's called Liza Anonymous. We're going to be shooting in November in New York. I play Liza, and it is a short about, I'll give you a little taste. Do you want the log line? Okay. It is about a lonely millennial who is addicted to support groups, and she finds a different persona that she brings to each group, but her charade crumbles, and when she's found out, she's forced to get to the root of her unique addiction and find her true identity. And in the end, it's really about how art is healing to her. But it's really going to be a lot of fun. I'm the executive producer too. I'm doing all the nitty gritty as well as starring in it, and it's my first filmmaking foray. Even though I've produced a ton of other things, but this is like my first film, so I'm really excited. I mean, don't let your light be snuffed out. Just don't. Just hold on to it. Like, if your lamp is burning on the lowest place it is, that's okay, because it's still burning. Keep it going, truly. And especially talking about coming out of my season of where I just felt fully jaded, I can fully speak to that. I did not let my light go out, but I was not in a good place. And so if you're coming here to New York, make sure your light is strong and you know why. Make sure you know exactly what you want, and then ask for help. Reach out, connect, relationships. Practical advice, if you go see a play and you love the playwright, for example, write them a Facebook message the next day. Little things like that, like saying like, oh my gosh, I loved this moment in this piece. Was that intentional? Did you have that actress from the beginning because she served your play so well, etc., etc., etc. It can go on and on. So don't be afraid to jump in.
Some days I gotta go. Sometimes I need to go. We are just trying to get. Sometimes I want